Hey guys, welcome back to the show. My name's Justin and today I'm going to show you how to sharpen your lawnmower blades. You only need a couple tools to get started with this. Easiest way to do this is with a drill. They make these little attachments with a grinding stone on it. It has a little backer. So this is the cheapest option you can go with. The other option is to get yourself an angle grinder. So this is one that I have. I picked this backing up. You can get these for pretty cheap. Harbor Freight, Home Depot, and a lot of other places. You just get these little pads here. They go on this, which eventually goes on this. So for this, you need a compressor and an air hose and a couple other pieces of equipment. You don't need the most powerful air compressor. You're just trying to get that sandpaper on there to sharpen the blade. Now, before we get started, just look at your blade. So the bottom half will, the bottom part will actually be kind of flattish right here, and then you'll see that the top of the blade actually has kind of a divot down. You can see that there. So that's the part that you're gonna wanna be sanding down, removing metal from there. Now I actually just put these in, I have a little vise, but you can also take some gloves here and hold this. So I'll just hold it like this and actually start grinding this blade. Now if you're using one of these, you're actually going to want to put this grinding stone against the edge on the top side of the lawnmower blade. Use the plastic backing and you can kind of put it up against there. Don't put too much pressure because I've had these things come off on me. They are pretty cheap. You can get these things on Amazon if you want to use them. But yeah, just make sure sparks are going to be going away from you. Also wear some safety glasses whenever you do this. But yeah, just put that grinding stone on the top and you're going to want to move this away from you in that manner. After you actually start grinding this away, you're going to want one of these. So this is another thing you'll pick up. These things are cheap. They're just little plastic, I don't know what these things are called, but they're plastic. You get them at Home Depot, Amazon, any place like that, and it basically balances. So you'll set it in there, and you're gonna, as you remove the metal from the blade, you're actually going to want to sit this on there, and you want to remove as much. So if it's tipping this way, this side's heavier, so you're gonna want to remove just slightly more off that side. But yeah, it's really nice to have. You don't want any excess wear on your engine, so it's good to have a evenly keeled blade on your lawnmower. It's very important to sharpen your lawnmower blades. This will make your lawnmower not only perform better, but it'll give you a much cleaner cut on your grass. It'll kind of prevent that those choppy edges that you see. Now, if you're hitting stolons and stuff, grass crowns, it is going to look choppy no matter how sharp you get these things, but that just means you're mowing too low. But that's a whole nother video. But it's definitely good to have your blades sharpened. It's definitely something I do at least once a month. I do this. Now to get started, you're actually going to want to take off any attachments you have. So I have this lawn striping system by Toro. I'm going to get that off, and then we'll just flip it over, and then I'll show you how to actually take your blade off. Okay guys, so once you flip it over like this, you'll normally have a bolt here, a retaining plate, and then you'll have your actual blade. So you're going to need to take this bolt off. Yours may be a little different, but just take the bolt off, take the retaining plate off, and then your blade will come right out. Now you don't need to use one of these, but it is nice to have one of these to just zip this thing right off. You can also use a ratchet when you're getting this thing off, and if you're using one of these, don't put your hands in here. And this bolt is actually 16 millimeter. So I got my 16 millimeter socket here, Just gonna zip this thing right off. So bolt comes out, got your retaining plate, and then your blade comes off. Now it's nice to have two of these so you can just have one sharpen and swap it out and sharpen the other one whenever you're ready. But I just want to take this off and show you guys. I do have an extra blade, but I want to show you guys how I actually sharpen this. Alright guys, that's pretty much how I do it. And I mean, these things don't have to be extremely sharp, but just decently sharp. You can definitely feel when it's good enough. You just don't want any nicks in here. You can see it's nice and shiny now, but I can tell that blade spinning is gonna chop off the leaf blades pretty nice and smoothly. The sandpaper pad I'm using is 60 grit, so that seems to work for me very well. And again, guys, I'm not a professional. If I'm doing something wrong in this video, guys, definitely point me out and put it down in the comments below so we can all learn together. And then another thing, whenever you're balancing your blade on these little things here, it doesn't have to be perfect, but you just don't want it really heavy on one side, which is why we're using this. That's really just to prevent wear and tear on the motor and engine of your lawnmower. And again, you can also use these. These work great if you don't want to go out and buy a compressor. So I have just a little quarter cable compressor that I use. Make sure that you blow the air out of your compressor after you're done with your equipment. You accidentally hit this button, you got this thing in your hand, that's really gonna tear up your hand. So just be careful when you're using these. But yeah, definitely sharpening your blades, guys, is definitely something that you should be doing on a regular basis. Also, if you don't want to sharpen these, you can take these to, like, I think Home Depot does it. There's a lot of places you can take your lawnmower blades to get sharpened, and I mean, it's probably like 10 bucks, something pretty cheap if you don't feel comfortable doing this. Definitely wear safety glasses, definitely wear gloves. I use these leather gloves whenever you're messing with air tools, especially as safety glasses. You get a little piece of metal in your eye that it'll really hurt. Now once you're done sharpening your blade, so your blade is actually gonna curve up like this. You can see it there. So you want to make sure that curve is pointing up like a cradle. So whenever you put it back on, just for you guys, so you don't put your blade on backwards. I've seen it before. I've even done it before, so don't feel bad if you've done it. I just wanted to put this tip out there for you guys if you don't know any better. So you just slap that thing back on there like so. Make sure your plate here, that's also gonna be kind of like a cradle, for mine at least. Slap that thing back on there. And then you'll just put your bolt back on. Now, I just use an air gun. There's probably a torque spec on this for safety. You should probably do it the safe way and just torque it, but I'm just gonna zip it on with my gun here. Don't put your hands in there. There we go. Also, if you have a gas-powered one, just for safety, just take the spark plug out while you're doing this. But that's gonna be it from me, guys. I really appreciate you guys watching. If you found this video helpful, please consider liking and subscribing down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.